This wedding was an assignment for my Religion 2 class in Catholic school.
This one's wife. More turd polishing. Hello, I'm hgtudor. As per Victoria Ward writing for The Telegraph, the Duchess of Sussex has hired an administrator who previously worked for Bill Gates as her first chief of staff. Understand this, Duchess of Industrial Beige. Just because somebody has worked for Bill Gates, and Bill Gates is a billionaire and at one point was the world's richest man, doesn't mean you're going to be a billionaire. Doesn't work like that. I know that your magical thinking tells you that it does, but even somebody who will have assisted Gates won't be able to polish up the turd that your business enterprises are. This one's wife has appointed Sarah Fosmo, 45, to be her most senior advisor as she prepares to relaunch her career. Yep, relaunch number 332. The Duchess has released With Love Meghan, her Netflix lifestyle series, alongside As Ever, her commercial enterprise. That's very generous of the Daily Telegraph to call it that. And Confessions of a Female Founder, her podcast. Ms. Fosmo will oversee this dynamic period of growth. Really? I've seen more dynamic growth watching the grass grow at Tudor Towers than in relation to this one's wife. What growth are we talking about? The growth of the audience for With Love Meghan that tailed off shortly after its release? That growth? Or do you mean the growth of orders in relation to As Ever, where nobody's actually able to purchase anything because it isn't actually a proper enterprise, it's a Potemkin exercise? Or Confessions of a Female Founder, which doesn't get much of an audience at all and again tumbled down the listings very quickly because it's yet another show which involves a very dull and dim woman wanking on about herself and getting people that she's made friends with to tell her how great she is. Where's the growth in any of that? There isn't any. Meanwhile, the Duke of Sussex's last high-flying pick for his chief of staff, Josh Kettler, who was formerly a Patagonia executive, did not outlast his 3-month trial period. In the absence of a replacement, one of the Duke's most senior members of staff, Leanne Cashin, a former executive assistant and Archewell's head of operations, has been promoted to a senior consultant. But a chief of staff? Well, do you mean the chief of staff in relation to the gardeners and the housekeepers and the nannies and the cleaners and the cooks? Do you mean that kind of chief of staff? The way it's written is to make it sound there's this operation of people hammering away at keyboards, their faces lit by the glow of the computers as they engage in finding new opportunities for this one's wife, that they are there seeking out publicity and brilliant commercial opportunities. Yet, the end product shows this can't possibly be happening. The Sussexes have become known for their apparent inability to attract and retain the right staff after hiring and losing a series of senior advisors since relocating to the US. I don't think it's a failure to attract the right staff. I think that the people that have come along are probably all entirely competent and useful at what they do. The problem is, they soon realise you can't polish a turd. They turn up on their first day. Could you go into that room, please? You'll find all the tools that you need. Oh, right, okay. I'm not getting some kind of orientation. No, just in there, please. Just go in there. Tools will be there. It'll be quite apparent what you need to do. What, you're not going to tell me what I need to do? No, just go in that room. If you say so. New recruit enters room. What's there on the table? Huge turd. And there's a tub of polish and a rag. Some glitter, maybe. And then there's a piece of paper which just says, polish this. And they look at it and they think, I can't. No matter how many pots of glitter you give me, gold, silver, bronze, ruby, sapphire, emerald, whatever colour they might be, I can chuck it over this turd as many times as you want. It just looks like a turd covered in glitter. This polish, no, it's not going to work. You can't polish a turd, which is the enterprises of this one's wife. But of course, this one's wife persists in believing that she can. She is deluded. Remember, because of her narcissism, she believes that she's the best at everything that she does. She does not recognise the failures as either failures or where she does realise that it's not done well. Her narcissism simply tells her, that wasn't your problem. It was because you didn't have the right chief of staff, or you didn't have the right bottle washer in place. Everything that this one's wife gets involved in, she exhibits a Sardine touch, the reverse Midas touch, where she turns everything to shit. This is because she has no talent, she's not particularly intelligent, she lacks charisma, she micromanages, she has stupid ideas, and she's hugely unpopular. She tries and tries again to be different things because she is obsessed with the concept that she will be successful because her narcissism tells her that she ought to be successful. She has this rampant sense of entitlement. And therefore, rather than think, do you know what, I've been jolly fortunate to have made the money that I have, I'll hire somebody who can invest that for me and I'll just live quietly in my large house with its 27,000 flushing toilets and just get on with life. Of course, she can't do that because that's no good for her narcissism. Instead, she thinks that she can turn her hand to lots of different things, and having a staff makes her look important, so that she can issue orders such as, don't bother ironing that outfit, it looks fantastic as it does. Go and get some PR puff pieces for me. And pop down to the Whole Foods, I need some more guinea pig food to throw over this vanilla dessert that I've made. My mother will like it this time. A source told The Telegraph Sarah and Leanne exemplify the strength and vision driving the Duke and Duchess forward. I would suggest that rather it was a combination of alcoholic beverages and recreational pharmaceuticals that were doing that. Ms. Fosmo has described herself as an accomplished professional with an extensive, long-tenured career managing complex, high-stakes operations for ultra-high net worth individuals. Undoubtedly, she probably has a robust and prestigious CV, but turd polishing isn't on it. She said she was adept at navigating high-pressure environments while maintaining a warm, approachable presence and representing principles with poise and professionalism. Indeed, but that doesn't mean that you're capable of polishing turds. Before being hired by the Duchess, Ms. Fosmo worked for Gates Ventures, Mr. Gates's private office in executive administration for 6 years. Before that, she spent 7 years working for Tony Robbins, an American motivational speaker, as a senior executive assistant. She's described Mr. Gates and Oprah Winfrey, a friend and neighbour of the Sussexes, as two of her favourite people. Well, here we are. Another person appointed as Chief of Staff. And it really is rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. She is undoubtedly a competent professional, but she's been asked once again to polish the turd. And no matter how many people that this one's wife hires, no matter how many people that she recruits, no matter how accomplished they are, the simple fact is she's inviting them to polish a turd, and it is an impossible task. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.